Hey, all right, so today I am here to walk you through 3 violin excerpts, and after I play through them, I'm going to give you a couple practice tips, so definitely subscribe and stay tuned for some great tips after the playthrough. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, this is excerpt number 2. Quarter note is 84. 3 beats and then we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, excerpt number 3. Let's start with quarter note equals 100. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, let's try it at 144. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so let's talk some quick tips for these excerpts. The first excerpt, I think, get on a metronome. The trickiest rhythm happens around 137, 138, 139. It's not that bad if you listen to it and then just imitate that rhythm, but definitely work with a metronome. The dynamics are a little bit sneaky, and I think second position's really useful at measure 127. Write in the bowings if it's helpful. The way the bowings are printed here is a little bit confusing for me, so I actually went ahead and wrote in some slurs so that I remembered where to hook bows. All right, so that's the first excerpt. Excerpt number 2. This one's pretty challenging, not in a traditional way, I would say. It's challenging in the second half of the excerpt because of the high sustained notes we have, and also because we don't just stay up high. We have to go back and forth between a lower octave G and a higher octave G. This is really challenging also for the right hand to sustain that sound fortissimo while you're up high like that. It's challenging for sure. I found it most helpful to keep my 1 anchored on the A string. In 6th, keep my 1 anchored on the A string. What position would that be? Yeah, in 6th position. And then I just would extend for the A. It did not feel ideal to have my 4 on the high G that whole time. I didn't really want to give up my lower octave placement, so that's why I ended up keeping a 4 up high. It's kind of a trade-off. You could play perhaps more easily with a 3 up high, but then you're going to have to kind of really nail that lower octave, and so I just found it easier to hold my 1 down. Now, to be fair, I didn't spend that much time with this excerpt, so upon further study, perhaps a different fingering would reveal itself. At the very end, that high C is fun mainly because it comes right after a bow lift. And so if you practice it in time without the lift, it's much easier to get that C in tune. But with the lift, you really have to just go for it. You hear me go for it, and I do land just a little bit high. But I adjust really quickly, and I think that, I mean, if you have finger radar like Heifetz, go you. Enjoy nailing that C every time. But for the rest of us, go for it and adjust as fast as you can if you end up being a little bit out of tune. The dynamics in this and the bow distribution, those are the things that really stuck out to me as I was learning it. The more you can slow your bow speed down so you have enough bow to hold 5-6 beats on one bow, especially when it's slower like this, the better off you'll be. All right, so excerpt number 2 is really a lot about bow control, and then there's a little bit of left hand fun thrown in there too. And then excerpt 3. I found it really awesome to stay kind of in position going from the 2nd to the 3rd line. So instead of playing open E on F flat, I was actually on the A string, and then I approached the fortissimo in the middle of the 3rd line from 5th position. So I didn't have to worry about getting that F sharp in tune. I would recommend going up the A string if you're at all uncertain about getting that F sharp. Also, traditionally, when you're in an orchestra, it's normal for you to approach notes from position. When you're playing a solo piece, it's more common for the shifts to be huge and dramatic, and that's part of the virtuosic nature of being a soloist. However, when we're playing in an orchestra and we're not a soloist, it's generally accepted to play high notes in position instead of doing big dramatic shifts to get there. The intonation could be a little tricky on the 3rd excerpt. Definitely get to know this piece if you don't already, so it's organically in your ears what it should sound like. But yeah, these are 3 awesome excerpts. Definitely got a lot of variety here. Have fun practicing them, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, all right? Bye!